Thank you SoundPeats for sponsoring this video. How's it going, everyone? It's Spencer here with Spencer's Stuff. Welcome to the community. I appreciate you being here. Today we're going to be talking about the Air6 HSs from SoundPeats. And right off the bat, I have to say, if at any point in time you're watching this review and you decide you want to buy a pair of these earbuds, there's a discount code right here for 10% off your order on Amazon, and it can be used with other things or other discount codes. So once again, use this discount code if you're interested. Now that that's all out of the way, let's jump right into the review of the Air6 HSs from SoundPeats. Thank you all so much for watching. So I always say the most important thing about any earbud is the sound quality, but that being said, if the earbud's not comfortable, you're not going to enjoy the sound quality because you're not going to be wearing the earbud. So putting these in immediately, I have to say these earbuds are so comfortable. They are not intrusive at all to my ear, to my head. I feel like I just truly enjoy wearing these earbuds at all times. I can wear them for several hours on end without even a hiccup or a twinge or any pain whatsoever. I really am enjoying the quality of the product and the way that it fits in the ear. It feels natural, it's not heavy, it's not something that's gonna feel intrusive, as I mentioned before. And one of the things that I really do like is it's a great hybrid between the Air 5 Pros and the Pearl Clips. So the Pearl Clips were a pair of earbuds that kind of wrapped around your ear, and I really liked those for their open design. And then the Air 5 Pros I really liked just because they were comfortable, they had the stem on them, they had great mic quality, great sound quality, and it almost feels like SoundPeats just took them and meshed them together and made the Air6 HSs. So I will say, if you're someone who wants a product that feels more open, more airy, and is less intrusive than putting an earbud inside of your ear, these are a great option for you. Now, if you're someone who wants something that is going to go into your ear and provide some passive noise isolation, these might not be the best for you, and you might want to look at the Air 5 Pros instead. And if that's the case, you can check out my review for those right here. So yeah, comfort, I would definitely give SoundPeats a great grade on these because they are super comfortable, and I don't think you'd be disappointed in wearing these earbuds for extended periods of time. Now, when it comes to sound quality, once again, I mentioned earlier in the comfort category that these earbuds do not have a closed design, so you are going to sacrifice a little bit of the sound quality in these. With that being said, for them being an open ear design, they really do provide a deep, rich sound, lots of detail, and you aren't going to feel like you're losing anything or losing too much detail in the lows or the highs by using these earbuds. That being said, I love the soundstage on these more open style earbuds. So one of the biggest perks that you have is you can make a really natural and nuanced soundstage just because the earbuds have an open sound to them. So for me, when I went for a walk or when I go for walks in the springtime, which I've been doing recently because the weather's been great, if you go for a walk and you hear the birds chirping and you're listening to some really nice instrumental music or whatever along those lines, you get all the birds chirping and the environmental effects and everything along those lines coming into your ear while you're listening to your music, and it really adds a nice immersion to your environment. And I know I sound like a complete nerd, almost like a gamer when it comes to talking about this type of sound, but it really does make things more enjoyable in your day-to-day life. And I imagine that if you're going to be walking around, in more quiet environments, you're going to really enjoy hearing these earbuds within your ear. Now, I have to say, because they are not closed off, if you are in a very noisy environment, you're probably gonna have to turn these up quite a bit more because all that sound is coming in. So it's a catch 182. Do you want that sound to be able to come in, leak in? Do you not? Because you live in a city environment that might be too noisy to wear these earbuds. I mean, that's the real question that you're gonna have to ask yourself. Fortunately for you, SoundPeats once again has different things in their product line that could fit more of your style. But I would say on the whole, if you're looking for a really rich sounding earbud that doesn't break the bank, these are really nice and you will get very nice detail out of them. Are they the best in class? No, not necessarily. And one other really important thing that I didn't bring up, they support LDAC. And I say this about any product that supports it. LDAC is a standard for me when it comes to Bluetooth. If a product doesn't have it, I ding them on a review because it is the pinnacle of sound technology for Bluetooth in my opinion, and it makes everything sound so much better. So I commend SoundPeats for putting LDAC in these earbuds because you're gonna get much more dynamic and rich sound from your Bluetooth experience when using these earbuds. So all in all, I would say the sound quality is definitely worth it for more quiet environments, maybe not so much for loud environments, but hey, at the end of the day, it's all up to you on what you prefer to use. So when it comes to the fit and finish of this product, as I mentioned before, these earbuds in the comfort category were great. One of the reasons for that is because of the plastic material they chose. It's a slippery feeling to it, so it doesn't really stick to the ear too much. With that being said, would I like a matte material? You know, maybe. It'd be all right. Maybe a little bit of cushion here and there would be nice. But for what it's worth, I mean, for the price of these earbuds, I like it. I mean, it's simple, and the case itself is great. This is one thing I always love on SoundPeats products is they do not make intrusive cases. So you're not gonna have something in your pocket where people are like, what's going on down there? If they're looking down there, you know what I mean? So these earbud cases are great. They're small, low profile, they fit, and they're nice and flat. They just fit in the pocket nicely. And I love the fact that when you just flip it up, the earbuds connect to your phone almost immediately, as long as you were connected before. And it's one of those things where it just works. You know, this is one of those things on these products where you don't want to have to fight your earbuds. You just want to open them up, put them in, and they're on and they're working, and you can do what you want to do. And this is something that these products always do from SoundPeats. So for the price of these earbuds, and frankly, for the price of any earbud, these do everything right in the fit and finish category. As I said before, maybe a little extra cushion here and there on the tips of the ears might be nice, or like maybe where the pain points would be on the ears, but I really can't complain for the price. So SoundPeats overall, I think, did a great job with the fit and finish on this product. So one argument I always make when it comes to reviews is that an app integrated into the product itself is one of the more important aspects of a product, and I wish it was reviewed more often. These are lifestyle products at the end of the day, and if something is going to further enhance the experience, I always say it's very important to look at. So jumping into the Peats Audio app, which, real quick here, SoundPeats, I know it's Peats Audio. I really wish you would just call it SoundPeats Audio, just for simplicity when looking at it, because sometimes you go to search for something and it's kind of hard to find. I know it's really big nitpick, but SoundPeats Audio, please. Going in here, we're looking at the beautiful layout here. Frankly, I really love SoundPeats just laying everything out piece by piece. You got, for me, I have multiple sets of earbuds. Here they all are. If you have the earbud, it tells you if it's connected or if it's not. What a concept. Great job. Tapping in here. So I have the Air6 HS's, and it shows the battery life of the case and each of the earbuds really easily laid out. Now for me, because I have LDAC enabled at the bottom, I lose spatial sound effects, the double connection feature, this and that. If I turn it off and I go back into these, they have to power on again real quick. I lose the sound quality, but I get spatial sound effects back and a few other things. I get the game mode, dynamic EQ, and this and that back. Frankly, I don't think those are really that important for an earbud like this. I just want pure sound quality, so I always go back to LDAC. Once again, this is gonna have to restart. And frankly, the earbuds do great. When you do switch this back and forth, they automatically switch back for you, which is great. So I don't really have an issue with that. So now that I'm back in here, I got LDAC enabled. If I go home, you know, this is what you see. Hitting the top 3 lines in the upper right corner, you can get all your device information, firmware upgrades, reset. There's a drainage function, find your earbuds, and then your prompt tones. One thing also, prompt tones, SoundPeats, I think you should try and look at some different prompt tones that are a little bit more higher fidelity. They kind of, especially when you turn them on, it's just very low res, and I feel like moving up market in the sound quality, like the compression of the person talking is kind of wimpy, but I know I'm nitpicking right now. So that could be something that you could do in the future, just improve the actual dialogue from the earbuds themselves to sound a little more professional. Going back here to the app, you can see here down at the bottom, there's EQ in here, which I am very happy they have, and they have a lot of EQ options, down to your own customized ones. So this one here has a, 8-band EQ, so that's good. You can have a lot more customization on that side. Do I wish there was a little more? You know, maybe, but it is not the worst I've seen, so I'm happy about that. And they have a really cool feature that I love to cover. It's adaptive EQ. So what it does is it plays a test tone in your ear and you tap every time you hear that sound. And by the end of it, it will adjust the EQ based on how you're hearing things. So if you might not have the strongest sense of hearing up in the higher range, it might turn that volume up a little bit so that you can hear more detail, versus maybe in the lower range you're not hearing as much, and then it has to turn it up or down or whatever else, and then it creates your own tune or EQ, and I love that. It works so well, and on these earbuds especially, I found that it dramatically improved the sound versus what you got out of the box. Because once again, with these being open earbuds, the bass is probably not going to be as strong as you like, so you're probably going to have to bump the bass up a little bit, and this did a great job capturing that. So on the whole, this app is very intuitive, it's very simple, and it works. Frankly, it just works, and that is something about an app that I'm always fond of when it comes to any earbud. One that just works, one that looks good, and one that does not inhibit you the ability to use your earbuds to their max potential. So great on you, SoundPeats, for making a great app. So I'm going to talk about some of the features with these. The fact of the matter is they have touch controls, and that might sound completely pointless in 2026, but they work really well. I love the fact that you have touch controls. You don't have to pull out your phone. You can set them in the app to exactly how you want them to be, and that is something that I really do appreciate in an earbud, especially at this price. And the fact that they work so well, that's really it, because just because it offers it doesn't mean that the touch controls are good. So great there. Battery life on these, excellent. Seriously, I can go a whole day at work on lower volumes with no problem. They tout 9 hours of battery life. I can probably get more than that. I have not run out of battery in a whole work day, and I've tried wearing these all day in the office. Fantastic battery life. And on top of that, the battery case itself gets another 45 hours of charge with quick charge. So these earbuds, you're not going to run out of volume. You're not going to run out of battery. It's just great. It's seriously awesome how simple it is to charge these up, and I love the fact that these also have fast charging, so in 10 minutes you can get 3 hours more of audio time. Frankly, with the amount of battery you get in here, I'd be shocked if you let them drain all the way down to the point where you have to charge them for 10 minutes to get another 3 hours, but they are great. And once again, I have to tout it again, LDAC, seriously. Makes a huge difference, and I appreciate that in a cheap earbud like this. It doesn't dilute the quality of the product. LDAC is a high quality feature on all types of earbuds, and that really brings these up above their price point. So I am appreciative of that, very much so. These are very feature rich in that sense, and they're IPX5 rated. I need to mention that as well. So if you're someone who does work out, or maybe you're just going out for a walk in the summer because it's so freaking warm outside and you're sweating all over them, you don't have to worry about these earbuds falling apart, breaking, or having water intrusion, because they are able to have a bit of water splashed on them. So IPX5 rating, and on the whole, I think using these earbuds as much as I have, I've been very happy with them. Frankly, they just are not intrusive, and I think I've mentioned that about 10 times in this review, that they're not intrusive, but they're feature rich and they're great for the price, and I cannot recommend enough the feature set on these earbuds. So the last thing I want to do here is talk about the mic quality on these products, because at the end of the day, as I said before, these are a lifestyle product and you're going to be sending and receiving phone calls. So for this torture test, I'm going to do a basic microphone test in a quiet room. I'm going to be doing cafe noise. I'm going to be doing the streets of New York, and I'm going to be doing a fan. And then I'm going to combine the streets of New York and the fan noise to really give you a torture test on these earbuds, because there are a lot of you who might be using these earbuds for a lot of calls, and I find it to be very important to make sure that this is up to snuff so that you can receive those calls and have good quality audio on the back end. So at the base level, I'm going to start here in 3, 2, 1. This is the base level audio that you should be getting from the Air6 HSs. At the end of the day, if this is good for you, that's the important thing, but this is what someone on the other end of the line is going to hear. And I think that on the whole, they should be very clear, very easy to understand. And I think you're going to be very happy with the sound quality in a quiet room. Now moving on to the next thing, I'm going to be playing the cafe environment at about 70 decibels of sound. I measured it. I'm not lying. I have a decibel reader. So 70 decibels is the average sound out of a cafe. So I'm going to be starting the mic now in 3, 2, 1. This is what you can kind of expect from the Air6 HSs if you're on the phone at a cafe at about 70 decibels of noise. On the whole, there might be a little bit of breakup, but I don't think that it'd be too intrusive to what you're trying to do day to day. This is a very loud cafe environment, I must say. The speakers are very close by, so you're going to be able to hear a lot more of the noise. So what do you think? Does it sound good? Now we're going to be testing these earbuds in the streets of Manhattan. Manhattan is about 70 to 85 decibels of noise after looking it up, and there's a lot of sounds that can be jumpy or people talking or this or that that could really interrupt the earbuds from working properly. So I'm going to be doing the test right now at about 73 decibels of noise. We're going to be starting that in 3, 2, 1. So this is what the SoundPeats Air6 HS sound like in the streets of Manhattan. It's very noisy, and I can understand why people might be annoyed by how loud it can get. I just had people go by my ears, so it's going to be pretty loud already. But on the whole, we'll see if these are able to hold up to the streets of New York and how loud it can be. And you'll have to let me know what you think about the Air6 HS that's on the streets of Manhattan. Now I'm going to be pumping some wind noise into my ears so you can kind of get an idea of how air and wind are going to basically interact with these earbuds. Obviously, wind is a little bit more interactive with an earbud since the air is actually getting pushed into the microphones. So I'm going to be starting the air in 3, 2, 1. So this is basically a light breeze that you're hearing out of these earbuds, and I'm going to be turning it up so that it goes into a heavier wind. Yeah, I would say on the whole, if you're listening through a windy day, maybe you're going to be very appreciative of these earbuds for how good they're able to cancel out wind noise. That being said, you never know with how loud these can get. These fans can push a lot of sound, and maybe you're getting a lot of breakup from the massive amount of breeze that's getting blown in your face. But what do you think? I don't know. Maybe it sounds pretty good. So last, I'm going to be testing New York with wind noise. An absolute torture test here to see how these earbuds are able to hold up in the microphone test. So I'm going to be starting that now in 3, 2, 1. So this is a decently breezy day, nothing too major. On a somewhat breezy day with all the information in the background going along, maybe it's not too bad. But now I'm going to turn up the wind so that it's really heavy wind, so that it might be raining or stormy or something along those lines. So this is the SoundPeats Air6 HSs, and maybe you're really starting to experience some breakup between the fan and the ground noise from New York. And this is an extreme test on these earbuds. So you'll have to let me know what you think about the Air6 HSs being tested between the streets of New York and very heavy wind. So after listening to the microphones and trying to figure out if these are really worth talking on the phone with, frankly, I'm very impressed that they were able to cancel out as much background noise and keep my voice centered in the sound. That being said, and I said this in my last video with the Air 5 Pros, my voice is more pronounced. I have a deeper voice. It's going to cut through sound more. So if you're someone with a lighter voice, these earbuds might not be the best for you, but I don't know because I am not a light voice person. Do with it as you may. I will say on the whole though, I think they did a great job. I think that the sound quality coming out of the earbuds when talking on the phone is great. I thought it really cut through. It was clean. And for an earbud that is at this price range, I am not going to complain about the quality of these earbuds and the microphones that I heard. So with a very windy day in New York, I would say you're probably going to be okay if you're a man. I don't know about it as a woman, but for my sake, I would definitely be happy using these and being able to talk on the phone with them. So at the end of the day, can I recommend the Air6 HSs from SoundPeats? Yeah. Frankly, this is very easy recommendation, especially for the price. If you're someone who likes to listen to your music on the go and don't necessarily want to have your ears completely covered up and mushed inwards by silicone ear tips, these are a no-brainer. The sound quality is great. It's got LDAC, it's got IPX5 rated, It's got great battery life. I mean, there's a ton of features for this product. The app works great, and the sound quality coming from the actual microphones when on the phone call is very good. I would say as a well-rounded earbud, and you're gonna be hard-pressed to find something at a price range like this that really performs as well as these did. So I would definitely recommend these, and if you are interested in buying them, once again, there's a discount code right here on Amazon so that you can buy them. And if you're at all interested or really are just wanting to talk about these earbuds, please leave that down in the comments. I would love to hear your experience with these earbuds. I hope you all like this video. I hope you have a great day, great evening, whatever it might be in your area, and I will talk to you all later. Thank you all so much for watching this review of the Air 6 HSs from SoundPeats.